we have understood in the journey that we are not the three bodies, and we are not the five sheets. We also have a clarity that what to do during the day when mind with its old habits, mind with its old habit return to the symptoms, symptoms of greed, symptoms of pain and sorrow, symptoms of reaction. What should we do during our daily life, during living from moment to moment? So that will help us to keep the mind in that state of knowledge. How long we have to do the journey? Until this mind becomes incapable, until the mind becomes incapable, helpless to incite you, to superimpose any delusion. So you know you have a self check. Normally, people, I've been doing with you, nothing happens. You are responsible. It's a common sense approach. Where I come in between, I don't come in between. No, no, I'm coming, I'm talking to you. So those who are 100% non-seeker will drop, do not attend, even if the teacher claims it is not his knowledge. It all belongs to the tradition. And then they have a lot of blame, complaint. So understand it clearly. I have to listen. I have to do the practice until this mind becomes totally incapable. What I said, mind becomes totally incapable of superimposing any pain and the pleasure, duality and a conflict in my day to day life. So now question comes, sometimes people have a very wrong notion, wrong notion and wrong thinking. Or you can say, I do not think about it and I have a wrong thinking. So that is the category of a non-seeker. So what should I do? I blame myself that I am a non-seeker. Keep listening, keep understanding, keep doing the practice. So once we are doing the practice, we experience there is a sense of calmness, then we are ready. Non-seeker gets easily excited. I have already told you last time the five sheets. And if you go through this and start thinking, oh, I'm upset. Upset is a cause of delusion. Am I worthy of suffering? We have covered those topics in detail. So remember that I have to act in my daily life. I have to act with the honey, I have to act with people outside, I have to act in professions. So I have to see whether that level of calmness is permeating in my mind, in my thought, in my speech and action. It's a common sense approach. Yesterday, one guy asked me that, can you get rid of anger completely? No. So if no, then why should I? No, just example. So then why should I do the practice if I cannot get rid of the anger completely? Or excitement? Or hesitation? So I said there are two types of anger. The seeker's anger is like drawing a line on the water. Non-seeker anger is drawing a line on the stone. It doesn't go easily for a non-seeker. He constantly is excited, remains agitated for about a week, and then he forgets, he gets into the same problem. But a seeker's anger is you draw a line. Can you draw a line on the water? It comes and it goes. You instantly become aware. That is our instinctual response. So we have done, we are not the three bodies, we are not the five sheep. What is next? We have to talk about and understand the three mental states. We are aware of waking state. We become little bit aware of the dream and the sleep state. In the waking state, that I had a sleep. So we have to understand it step by step. Are we three in one, or one only behind the waker, sleeper, and the dreamer? Did you ever ask this question to yourself? I sleep, I dream, I wake up, and then we never ask this question that what about three mental states? There are three mental states. So because I'm not the mind, hence I'm none of these three mental states. So if I'm not none of these three mental states, then who am I? That is the last in the category what we are not. We are not the three bodies. We are not the five sheep. And now we are none of these three mental states. We get stress in the waking state. But if I'm not a waker, then what the stress has to do with me? In sleep state, I'm totally unconscious. When I wake up, I become conscious. Am I a sleeper? No, I am a conscious being. So we have to understand how to separate these three states, and then what will be left is the real self. Only the real self. Have you ever asked a question to yourself that we have been living in a waker, as a dreamer, as a sleeper? We never think about it. We never think about it. So the master says that we need to think about it. We should not remain unconscious about these three states in order to find out who we are. Now see the beauty. The waker, sleeper, and the dreamer all are changing mental states. When we are a waker, we do not know the dreamer and the sleeper. When we are a sleeper, we do not know the waker and the dreamer. Look at this. And when we are a dreamer, we are neither waker nor sleeper, and still I am. Does it give us a clue that I am is different from the three states? It permeates, it is present in all the three states. That I am is present in the waker, I am is present in the sleeper. I am present in the dreamer. Just see the thing that we cannot say my life is only a waking state. We cannot say my life is only a sleep state. We cannot say my life is only a dream state. All the three, but I'm none of them. Are you getting it? Say yes. Even if you don't. That is the journey. If I don't get it, why I don't get it? Start thinking it is because of the no becoming being a non-seeker. But what prevents me to become a seeker? The impurities in the mind and the distractions, the wandering mind. What are those impurities? Are those likes and dislikes that causes the attachment and detachment, that causes desire, and that puts me into the cycle of karma, and that prevents me to receive that knowledge. Even if I receive the knowledge, I do not retain the knowledge. Don't answer me, but because you'll be exposed. So I don't want to expose you. You have attended the session, right? And just after attending the session, you are upset. You are not able to retain the knowledge. I give you one example. Do you see that? Don't tell me yes or no. Remain intelligent. Hide yourself. So, do you see that? This is what happens. So I'm not able to retain that knowledge, because if I'm not able to retain the knowledge, so I'm not able to reflect. So when I'm not able to reflect, those impurities remain. And if those impurities remain, I've been attending your session. Don't attend my session. Attend your session. It's your session. So I've been attending your session. No, you're not attending my session. You are attending your session. So come back, return to the how can we relate three state which appears independent. Now think. Thinking means it gives me the knowledge. Uh, it is one life as an individual. It is one unit of life in which these three states have been alternating for the last so many years. Like a wheel, it means somewhere there is a real self. And that real self is different from the three states. I want to lay again a strong foundation, because to know we are not the three bodies and we are not the five sheets has a different approach than we are none of these three states, have a totally a different approach of understanding according to the teaching. This is little subtler, very subtle. Anastasia, you asked a question, I gave you the answer. That self-inquiry is done by the intellect. Intellect means knowledge. The knowledge is not retained there, not reflected. Why it is not retained there and reflected? Because I'm living a habitual life. After the session is over, even I send you the audio files, pleading that please, and I have a lot of things to do, I'm fully busy. Look at it. It is only because of the likes and dislikes. Pleasure seeking mind. possession seeker mind. That is why we slip back. Knowledge simply means understanding and clarity. Clarity means classified. I told you before also. Do you still remember? Knowledge, clarity. Knowledge, understanding means clarity. Clarity means classifying. Simple example, I am different from you. I am different from Brandy. I classified, I filtered in order to point to that here I am and here is a Brandy, here is anesthesia. Here is my neighbor's house. Here is my 3 bodies. Here is my 5 sheets. And here are my 3 states of the mind. Mind, power of intellect is discernment, and Buddha says the right knowledge is the first of the eightfold noble path. Patanjali says Vivek Khyati. Vivek Khyati means to settle or establish. You establish discernment in the intellect and you are already there. You are living from moment to moment in that state of mindfulness. There is another way to say it, that I should have a mental maturity and the intellectual maturity. So that maturity means that I am a seeker. So now with that understanding, again ask the question, I am one or three in one. Our smartwatch is many in one. So are we three in one, or we are only one? These three appears on the real self. If I'm three in one, then I'm always disintegrated. I'm always fragmented. Then at one time, I claim that I'm a seeker, I'm a waker. Second time, I claim that I am a dreamer. Third time, I claim that I am a sleeper. And they will remain disconnected from one another. Still, there is some feeling, some awareness that I am one. Do you agree? Do you feel that there is something deeper inside which says I am one? What is that? I'm conscious of that entity, and that entity is the real self. But at present, we are working on the 3 states. In deep sleep, I'm not the body and the mind. Because if I'm body and the mind, then I will know I'm sleeping. Can you ever become conscious of sleep? No. We can never become conscious of the sleep. Because if I become conscious of the sleep, then it is not sleep. So what happened in the sleep state of consciousness? Nothing but, that consciousness is hiding, not expressing itself through the body, means the 5 senses and the mind. In dream state, the consciousness is expressing itself through the mind, not through the body. We enter into a fancy imagination world where the body, through its 5 sense organs, do not see the fact. And in the waking state, both mind and the body are fully active. Hence, so what is the one understanding that we have? In a waking state, it is because of the body and the mind which are fully active. In dream state, it is because the mind is active, body is not. In the sleep state, none of them is active. That is why I don't recognize I'm sleeping. That is why I don't see the factual world outside in dream. And that is why, with the body and the mind, I see the material world of phenomena. It proves that I'm not a sleeper, I'm not a waker, I'm not a dreamer. I told you that I always asked crazy questions to my master, and in a traditional format, traditional wisdom, you go to the master late in the evening, master is lying down, and you press his feet or massage, and during that time you ask a question. So I did it for a couple of years, not bragging, but in order to ask a couple of questions. And I had a curiosity uh, uh, whether an enlightened person sleeps. What is your answer? Huh? Sleeps. Who sleeps? Body and the mind. Real self never sleeps. Real self is of the nature of consciousness. Look at it. This is what the understanding is. So I used to massage and he started snoring. I said that he's going into sleep now. So I stood up and I folded my hand with eyes closed. And when I opened my eyes, he was sitting. I saw him sitting. How dare you say that uh, enlightened ever sleeps? I said, this is not possible. It's our it's our medical science, information from the medical science. We have become so much habitual and heavily conditioned. I tried at least 25 times. Every time he was snoring, and I said, now this guy is sleeping. And every time he woke up, he said, how dare you say? The last time he said, enough is enough. You have understood it. And that gave me a very interesting, I started working on this sleep. Let me see, let me work on it. You'll be surprised that with the smartwatch, when I'm focused in meditation, the smartwatch says 2 hours in meditation, so it adds 2 more hours. This watch does not know whether I'm sleeping or meditating. I have tried hundreds of times. Then I told my son, and he also tried. He said, yes, you are right. It's totally a different science. You should appreciate it. You should appreciate it. So you see that's another level of your awareness by which you can prove that you are not a sleeper, you are not a waker, and you are not a dreamer. So another question comes, is there anything behind the three states that connects all the three mental states? It is the real self. Do you have a car? Yes. Do you have a house? Yes. Right? Do you have a phone? Yes. Do you have clothes? Yes. So who connects all of them? You. Are you getting it? Yes. Who connects you all of them? It's you. At the individual level. That's why you say it's my house, my phone, my fiancé. Your fiancé did not turn up today. Busy anesthesia. So you see that who connects? Similarly, that real self, that consciousness connects to all of the three states, and that consciousness, that is how understanding about the three states. You see the confusion. There we should understand completely about the confusion also. so that we can remove the confusion. It's a so simple way. It's a common sense approach. My house number is 7304. If I see 7305, it is not my house. It is a default understanding that I'm a man as compared to others. It's a default. I need not to think. But when I start the journey, I have to think, contemplate, reflect. And what prevents me not to contemplate and reflect? I told you, I become a non-seeker when I have those impurities of the mind. The likes and dislikes causes the attachment and detachment, and ultimately causes the desire. Then I become fully busy. Then I am engaged in action all the time. Then I get a fatigue. Who will do meditation? I'm already, let me take rest. Come on, meditation help you relax. That idea, that thought never comes to my mind. Then there are a lot of other impurities, pride and etc., etc. So this confusion in the intellect must go. I'm a man first, then I'm a teacher. If I'm a teacher in all the conditions, everywhere, after the session, I go to the honey and I am a teacher, then I start teaching my honey. I'm a crazy guy then. That's not my business. Until one asks, do you see that? You see how rich I am. We try to pour and we feel very inferior. Okay, you have such a big house. It is a non-thinking approach. I'm not thinking at all. I'm not thinking it clearly. Teacher is only a role. I have to play my role and finish. So similarly, we have many roles to play like a Hollywood actor. Similarly, all the three states are playing its role in our journey of evolution. I am none of them. I'm not a waker. I'm not a sleeper. I am not a dreamer. So when we think along these lines, after that, you contemplate. And when you contemplate, you will find that I can tell you one thing more, and then we will start with the practice. You have a job, regular job, 8 to 5 or 8 to 4. You have to wake up at, you see, that is what I have realized in my life also, and you should be able to realize. So now it is 10 p.m. and the mind says, no, 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 you must sleep in order to wake up to get ready for a job of 8 to 5. If you don't get a sleep, you will feel tired. It's all a delusion. If I work on the mind, if I witness the three states, even 2 hours of the sleep will be deep sleep. Today I was checking, it was 68% deep sleep. And then I sat for meditation for almost around 2 hours, and it increased to 78%. Come on, watch, you don't know what a sleep is. I will not say companies are making us fool. We should be, yeah, it gives you some ideas. That very thought triggers every cell of the body. And then it claims you did not have a good sleep, that is why you feel tired. Why I say so? The contents, if I say it openly, psychology also says is the number of thoughts present in the mind is inversely proportional to the hours of sleep. What did I say? More thoughts are there, you have a less deep sleep. Less thoughts are there, you have a sound sleep. So, what is that principle? You empty the mind before you fall into sleep, before you are planning to go to sleep. Even 2 hours is enough. That is the principle. So those who are businessmen, they can do more business in the night also. The eyes are closed. Let us start. So they become more